So I wonder if like the fear of like hell, like the concept of hell and like the fear of people going to hell comes from like a sensation in the brain of like a negative experience, but then also like the closest thing that we have to relate to like death is like sleep. A sleep like death. Maybe this is why Elizabeth was doing this. So that's what she was looking for. So like the concept of death is most closely related to sleep. And so I wonder if like the fear, like the manifestation of like hell, like Taka, and like heaven, like Tafiti, like I wonder if that manifested from the fear that is associated with like a nightmare or like with a bad dream. Like I wonder if that's what that is. It's like and so like the fear of hell is like people thinking of like going to sleep and like having a negative experience like right before they go to sleep, and then like having a nightmare or like having a dream or like wetting the bed or something like embarrassing or like gross or dumb. Like I wonder if like that's where like the seedling of like hell came from, of like this like fear that humans have of like when they die unaccomplished or when they die like in a fearful situation, like that is going to be the last experience that they have, and they're going to be trapped in that, like just like when like a nocturnal paralysis or whatever. Like I wonder if that's what that is. Like I wonder if that's what it is, or if like the fear of like some when you die, like if you're not like if death is like just a like endless dream. Like I wonder if that's like the fear of that, it's like the manifestation of that, of like death is this like endless dream, and so people don't want to die like unaccomplished. People don't want to die in the dark. People don't want to die with like a negative experience as the last thing that they saw in their eyes, because that image is what's going to be in their mind. So like I wonder if that's what it is that it's like people think like, hey, like I really like, because again, like there are times in my life when I thought I was going to die, but I wasn't like necessarily like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be alive anymore. It was more of like, I'm only like 20, like that's why it's scary. Like that's what I said about Dill. Like it wasn't scary. It wasn't really that sad to me that like when my grandparents died, like it was sad in the sense of like I was a child, so I was sad about it. And then it was sad when like, when I believed that the people in the World Trade Center got blown up, whether or not that happened. Like that was sad, but I wasn't like devastated by it. I mean, I went to school afterwards. So I think that that's what was happening, is that it was like, I think that that's kind of what it is that it's like I was very affected by Dylan. Well, even though he didn't actually die, but like I was very affected by that because it was untimely. And so like I think that that's what was happening too with like, I think that that's just what it is, that it's like death is a natural thing. I'm not scared of death in and of itself. Like death is scary if it's like if you are dying when you like are like in your prime, because generally that's like either a murder or like some freak accident that probably like didn't need to happen. So it's like what we were just talking about of like making the world safer. It's like we wouldn't need windows, like we wouldn't need locked doors. Like that's why like Lei Nai, and you saw that, like that's probably why she chose me. Like you were looking for the one, because like Lei Nai had like even the other Lei Nai had like and Ivorona like had like these. I'm gonna rename Ivorona because I think that it's like there's some like I think that there's some like Marvel association that's happening with that is causing this. And also I have to like tell myself, like I'll give anything to hear you say it's not too late to rename Ivorona. But yeah, so I think that like even though like I'm not like in that server, I think that that would also demonstrate to like that like memory of myself that like that is still an important part of my life, just like the United Brotherhood memoir has my whole life in it. Like that's a chapter of my life that doesn't need to just be like that doesn't need to be dismissed or whatever. So like I wonder if I like change the name of that, it will actually like, especially because there's only a couple of them on there anyways. So like I wonder if I like change the name of that, if that will like disassociate it with Marvel, and then like that won't be like some of that like apprehension that I'm having about that Loki show won't like be happening. And then also maybe like the Loki show will actually have like some content that is made available. But so yeah, that might be a thing that I'll do. But anyways, so like I think that is yeah, I think that that's like what's happening, is that it's like the concept of death, I feel like probably is what Elizabeth was doing with her like potions, especially because I mean like an apothecary, like that's what medicine was then, is not necessarily now. And so like Elsa, like like I think what was happening is like they were trying to have her learn this like potion power of like healing, but then also like we were also like people were grappling with like you're also a human being, so like people have like follies, people have shortcomings, and so like nobody's perfect. And so I think that that's what was happening, is that it's like she was doing the best that she could with the technology that she had with apothecaries and with potions, and that's what she was taught. And so like we have to learn how to do like how to like prosper with like marijuana and like medicinal marijuana and recreational marijuana and just like open air. And so I think that that was why she like she like signaled me, and she honestly probably to some extent was trying to get me to like just be red and kill her, like I think a lot of people were. But like, because again, she probably was like, man, I'm really fucking exhausted. I don't really feel like being alive because I'm old, and like you are suited to be this king, so like could you just like kill me and do it? And I'm like, no. Like I'm not gonna fucking kill you. And so I think that that's probably what was happening. Like Fiona was trying to give Cordelia that knife. It's like no, like I'm not gonna fucking kill you, because like people think that that's an easy thing to do because historically it was, but it's not anymore. And so I think that that's what's happening, is that it's like no, I'm not gonna fucking kill you because that's not an easy thing to do. Killing people isn't easy. Words are easy, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna write words with feathers and quills. So I think that that's what was happening, is that it's like there's also probably like this like damn situation, if there are accomplishments that I have like achieved like Adam and Eve that like were given to women and that I don't know I did, and like that's what's happening with Adam. And like Adam's like men are probably just generally kind of pissed off about that, and women are kind of just like generally pissed off about like somebody gave me this thing that I didn't want, like just like my glasses. Somebody gave me this thing that I did not want, and like now my husband like thinks that I'm a fucking bitch because like I have this like identity that like is his and I don't even want it, but he can't get it back because like that's what the law is, and it's fucking bullshit. Like, and nobody likes it. It's fucking stupid. Like I think that that's probably what's happening. And so I think that that's again, that's like what the concept of death is. I think is that it's like I think that people just don't want to die in the dark. Like right now it's like there are times in my life when like there wasn't really like either there was no value or like there was no value that I could see or that was being acknowledged. And so I was like, well, I don't want to die, but like I'm not like super like I'm not like intent on like I don't know. I think that's what it was. It was like I just like I'm surviving right now, but I'm not really alive. So like, you know, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna live this day and hope I don't die, but whatever. Whatever happens, happens. But then I think I got to the point where I was like, oh, okay, well, now there's some light and like I can kind of see that like there's actually like some hope here. And so I was like, oh, okay, that's fine then. I was like, I'll do this life thing. And I think that that's what was happening too, is that like people kind of like were kind of pushing this like narrative of like you have to like be openly expressing exactly like what you feel about life or whatever for it to like manifest properly. And so it's like if you're not like, oh yay, I'm so like attitude of gratitude, like if you're not like showing this like appreciation for this like for your life, then people think that like people are gonna like tell people that you don't want to be alive. And it's like nobody said that. It's also like I think a lot of things that I don't say and I'm not going to actually say and that I'm not gonna do. So it's like that doesn't know. Also, like my body language is that like that tower, like that sand water tower. My body language is like so still, like a possum. Like my body language is like so still that like and or like the pig, heart of a pig, that like you literally like have no clue what I am thinking. Like most people, and I think that's also what it is, because I don't like talk with body language. Like I mean I observe it to a certain extent, but like I'm also so forward that I'm just gonna be like, hey, could you just like I'm just gonna ask you, like I'm just gonna be like, hey, can like what is happening, like. I'm just gonna ask you and be like, can you just tell me what this thing is that you're like talking about? Because like I don't really care enough to like try to figure it out, like honestly. And so I think that that's what was happening, is that it's like that's also what was happening with like dying and like death. I was like, I don't really care that much about like to figure out or like to like wonder what happens when I die. I'm just like, I'm gonna die. I'm a human being. Like you told me that when I was a little kid, that all people die, and I was like, yeah, all people die. So it's like, whatever. I mean, I'm not thrilled about it, but I mean, you said it's just part of life, so whatever. Like, who cares? I'm not, again, not thrilled about it, but I was only scared of it because of like this fake Bible bullshit that you guys had. The gumdrop forest. It's the only way to free the forest. Like, that's what's happening. Is that it's like that manifested though, like just like how throughout all of time, like the Bible existed because people probably needed people to like have a bunch of children so that they could like do a thing. So I mean, it makes sense why like some of these things were necessary. It's like the maybe that's what it is. It's like the zones in Lithia. Like maybe you're trying to tell me that I'm past the England zone and like I have to like figure out what the next one is. And so I think that that's what maybe like we're like Earth is like having to like figure out that we're past the like heterosexuality zone and like figure out how to like just be. And like it doesn't really have to do with sexuality at all. I think is the point, is that it's like Earth just has to figure out like how to just like be alive, because like we've gotten past the zone of survival and living. Like that's why there's survival mode, adventure mode, and creative mode in the game. I think is that it's like that's what was happening, is that it's like there are some people who are stuck in that. Oh, so like stuck like survival mode, like creative mode and adventure mode, like they're stuck in survival mode, like Uncle Aaron's stuck in survival mode. Oh, okay. Yeah, and so I think that that's what it is, that life is more than that. But like some people, like that's either all that they can be, or that's just like what they prefer, which is totally fine. Even if they can be like more than that, if that's just the lifestyle that they live, totally fine. And so I think that that's what's happening, is that it's like I just think that that's really what the concept of hell and like heaven comes from, is like the most recent like experience of like your life right before you die is like what what probably manifested as this concept of heaven and hell, of like this like possibility that death is just an endless sleep. And like if I don't get like a good night's rest, if I don't get like a like these good like if I don't get like these certain experiences, then like I'm gonna have this like endless dream when I die, of like this endless nightmare or this endless dream. And I think that that's probably what the concept of death is. It's probably not actually like a literal like God is like putting you in heaven or hell, or like a sorting hat or anything. I think it's just like it probably manifested from like, hey, like I've like experienced these things, I've done these things in my life, and like that's what I'm going to be like remember in this nightmare, like when I go to sleep forever. I think that's really what it is. Or it's like I've lived this like really great life that I at least believe was like, kind or like moral or ethical, and so like that dream will manifest as like a heaven like experience. I think that that's really what it is just like somebody like put words to it and like put it in a book and like told people that it was like absolute fact. And I think that that's where it got lost, in the sense of like people like started to believe in mass this thing that someone was just like wrote down to explain it. Whereas like instead of like theorizing about it and being like, hey, I wonder if this is what happened, as opposed to being like, hey, this is what it is. Like, this is what's going to happen to you when you die. Instead of us like theorizing and being like, hey, I wonder if this is what death is. And I think that that would probably be less fearful. That's how you can rise yourself out of that, like the dam. That's how you can rise yourself and like rise with Eros and with the United States and with Australia, because they will never tear us apart, and we will never tear us apart. Okay, so the full atlas was completed like around the time of, like, I think on Liberation Day. So like Liberation Day and the 4th, so like the July 3rd to July 4th was when Liberation Day was completed, or was when the full atlas was completed. So we're gonna like access the testing station, and we're going to uh, access the testing station, and we're going to like do a we're going to do a like a period where we're like going to like measure in the testing station like the recovery period of a full atlas being completed, like a full construction being completed, and then the recovery period of like when like how long it'll take before I could take on another client or whatever, or before I could like before like the next person who's in line, because like Asha was the first to stand in line. That is completed now because the atlas is completed. My brain has been offered. So like now we can do like a testing station, a recovery period of my brain, now that you can fully see my brain, of how long it takes me for me to recover, so that I can like build an atlas for a client. which also would be like demonstrating how like I was able to control my impulses in the sense that like I didn't go and just like make many like maps and then like make many maps that I was not tending to. So like I demonstrated that I could do that. But like so now we're doing the recovery period of like how long like of a space of time do I need to like recover my brain and like also like go over like the atlas with the client, present the atlas to the client, like the details of the atlas to the client, and then like teach them how to use it and how to interact with it, and then how to like present it to people. So like we're gonna go over all of that, but we're just gonna have this like period of like it's gonna be a while. Like I'm not building anything for a while, but we're like again, I also have to register that like the construction of the Sandcraft Atlas is like that is one zone. And so like now in this zone it's like I have to be able to realize that like the construction of the atlas and then like uploading it to YouTube, like now I'm interacting with it in zone 2 for example, or maybe zone 3, whatever. Like now I'm interacting with it in the next zone. And so like we're going to see like what like the like protocol is for like this zone and like interacting with the server now that it is synchronized with my brain, and then like how like what the process of like the collaboration with a client is of like them like learning how to use the like learning how to like present their like art, like present like the atlas that was constructed. And then like so I'm going to be like my little like guinea pig for that for a minute, and then like we're going to see like how that will actually work for the clients. Okay, One World Trade arrival. So we've gone over my like mind arrival to One World Trade. I also called One World Trade and spoke to them, or actually like talked to them, and then they also like went into like we did protocol. So like now let's go over my actual arrival of One World Trade, because I do genuinely believe that when I called them, like when I called One World Trade, that signaled to them of like we need to like lock this down because he does not know. He seemingly does not know how to get here, and that means that like the king like is kidnapped or something. Like I think that that's what happened. So I think that like okay, break. Okay, so we're gonna go over a protocol for One World Trade, like my arrival at One World Trade. Is like my physical arrival at One World Trade is that we are like I want to like go when I like if I actually do make it to One World Trade, when I like physically arrive there, like what I want to do is like go in there because it's glass and it's like a solar panel, I believe. And so I want to go in there with my like headset, and I want to go in there and kind of like what Cloud did, but they didn't want me to do it dark. Like they like that's what happened. Reza fell to darkness, and so like Esmeralda fell to darkness. They didn't want me to do that. So like as Hanan Nanan, Emperor Restored, I want to arrive at One World Trade, and I want to go in there similarly to what happened with Cloud. But remember, that was just a story. That was something that could happen. That was a possible future. But now I'm going to arrive there similarly, like that was a rehearsal. So like the when we actually do this, like we've run the data through all possibilities. I'm going to go there as Hanan and Non. You wanted to know which one of me was going to appear there, which character in my brain or whatever, which like moment in my life was going to appear there. It's Hanan and Non. So I'm going to arrive at One World Trade, and also who knows, Hanan and Non, that is a character who like is me, but maybe like Dawn could be like Dawn with a Don. Like he could be have grown and be a guy because he also has an X chromosome. So it's like Dawn might also be male. It's just Dawn with a Dawn might just be his like X chromosome, just like I have that. So it's fine. But yeah, so like when I arrive at One World Trade, like what we're gonna do is I'm gonna arrive there, and I want to go in there and like similarly to like the day all worlds were One World Trade. You're looking for the one, found me. I want to go there and like go into One World Trade and go into like the like most like central like area in One World Trade, like just like I was in the central time zone in Kansas or in America, like in the most like central place in America, Like I want, and also I wrote that thing about how like no one's safe. But again, that also makes sense because like I wrote that thing about the like nuking Kansas because like that would demonstrate to people that like nobody is safe. But again, that was a story. But anyways, so like I want to go there and demonstrate to people because like again, I have more than one birthright. That was the whole point of it. Is that like demonstrating to people that nobody is safe and can't like in these like most like sequestered place is demonstrating to people that like people can be we can like cultivate a maximum like level of safety in this like very unsafe situation. So if we were to take me there with that mindset of like one world trade, put me in like the center of it, and then like the solar panels, just like how we like have tested like this light being absorbed, like the microbot presentation and the mastery presentations, like how we've tested that. We're gonna activate the solar panel and like kind of like a decontamination chamber. Just like have me in a like secured place in One World Trade that you can like activate the sun, like activate the solar panels and like absorb as much of that like energy. And we're gonna do these just like energy sessions of just like me in like the One World Trade Center, like and having like the solar panels activated and me just like synchronizing my brain with the sun. And then like that will be how we will like heal like solar like demonstrate solar energy and synchronize like my brain uh with synchronize my brain with like solar power and like renewable energy and like water and the obsidian reservoir. So like that's what we're gonna do is we're just like the obsidian the brain in the obsidian reservoir, it'll be like a similar room to that, but I don't know if it'll be like my brain will be connected to that region of the obsidian reservoir like with my headset, but I'll be like in the center of the tower. And so I think that that's how that can work with like, and I can just really like synchronize myself because I think that like the One World Trade has six like spirals or like it has like six triangle shapes or whatever. So like I'll be in the center of that, and then like my star necklace, like you can will just be like refracting light and like refracting light, kindness, like all of the like only the best of my mind, and like we'll begin there, and like we'll just like have me in the center of this thing, just like the Freedom Tower, just like, and people will just be like viewing my brain, and like I'll be like absorbing like the sunlight, and like I'll just be like really just like we'll do like music sessions and like inner peace sessions, and like we'll do guide sessions, and we'll because again right now I'm in like a like I'm in like a like nav point to like on the way to the tower, but I'm not there, which is probably why like the way that like just like Elsa trying to get into Atahala, me going to the Enchanted Forest, like that probably that same sort of situation of I'm having to battle the wind spirit to get to the Enchanted Forest, like Elsa had to battle the Knock to get to Atahala. So like people are seeing like the devastation that is happening of like me arriving at the like in the like One World Trade. And so we'll see like the like once I arrive there, we'll start doing these solar panel sessions and like these guide sessions, and like that's how we can like demonstrate to people like the like benefit of solar energy, but then also like the like synchronization of my brain, and like demonstrate to people like exactly how this works, and like we can bring this to fruition. Like my microbot presentation can actually be like done with me like in like consciously, and my mastery presentations can actually be done with me like consciously, and like people will like see the benefits of like being able to like directly communicate with me, but like doing that like as they say in fellowship, and like not as like people like buying tickets to me or like signing up to like see me or something. Like people will just be able to be like, hey, no, this is like the plaza, like we're at the plaza, like people are just coming here, like this is the culture that we have cultivated so that like people can interact with like the king, so that people can interact with people can interact with Terrasport Jr., whoever I am, like people can interact with me, and people will know like, hey, this is like what happened, this is who I am, like this is like what the story is. And like I'll just be telling the story like I was telling that story to Rapunzel, like I was telling the story to orphan kids. Like I've injected this language so that Rapunzel knows like like whoever she is now, like so that like these people like that I have known throughout my life, and that who are allies or neighbors like now, like that's what it will be, is that like whoever anyone is to me now, like everybody knows what their role in my life is. Everyone knows like who I am and who I've become and like how they have shaped me. The Atlas assessment is complete. Like the actors like the that I've been introduced to, like that's all complete now. It was a story, but like that was what the red and blue of it was, is that like I had to like sift out, like I had to like demonstrate to the people that like these were like feasible things, even though it is actually like fully blue. So like we're demonstrating to people that it is fully blue, but that it was like also like demonstrating to people like the power that came with like absorbing these red ants that like didn't like really comprehend like what the blueness of it was. And so I think that that's like how we can like really demonstrate to people like the true genuine value of like every living thing, and like just like how like not everybody's perspective on like what life is the same, but how like it's all kind of coming from the same place, I think. And I think that that's how we can go, begin with our like solar energy and one world trade when I arrive. So I wonder if like some of the like art that has was like distributed as lanterns, since I like got Minecraft, like I wonder if some of those things like, because I built that tower like really like as soon as Minecraft was like released. So like I wonder if like they were putting things up so that I would come and like put my hand on it or whatever, or like, cause that was like what happens with like Tafiti, like Moana just like touches her heart or whatever. So like I wonder if that's what it is. It's like everybody has these like things, but like that's how the source blocks in the game work, is that it's like you put one thing down, and then if you like delete that source block or like put a block over that source block, so if I come and touch this like person, like touch the hand or like touch the soul of like someone, or like my brain connects with them, then like that is like me like putting like a block over that source block, and then like quelling that like fire that they had, or that like whatever it was that the block was. Like I wonder if that's what it is that it's like they're having me come and like just like soothe these people that were like either looking for me or looking for someone, and then like quelling these people and being like, hey, like I am the original primeval emptiness of the universe, chill out. I'm gonna just put my hand over this source block, and then like the apprehensions that you have of like this like search is like over, and then like there you are, like you are, there you are. Like I am Huan, I am Hanan, Nanan, I am the original primeval emptiness of the universe, and I have like soothed your source block. Okay, so like I asked Emma to take down that like picture of Obama, which I mean I wonder if that's why General Matias looked old. And so I think when I came here, when I went to the gummy ship, they're like, we want you to step. And so I think that she said that because like how ridiculous it was that like they made these like COVID things and these mask mandates and like all this bullshit that I had to do to like try to get these mask mandates lifted. And I think that that's what was happening. So like there people are coming to me now, like Issa, and like trying to get me to like take this stuff down that I posted, which again I will after you destroy this dam. And I think that's why she set 7-tier power, because it's like all this ridiculous shit that like they did that I like very like reasonably was like, hey, could you like not be doing that, because it's like has no actual purpose in life. And it's like I have constructed like architecture that literally everybody could live in for free, and like the only thing that I am asking for people is for me to not get fucking assaulted by niggers. Like that's what's happening, and it's like, so that's what it is. That's me, that's my power. Like if you want me, I will delete all of this stuff. I will delete everything that I posted online that is like in any way negative, or like that people may feel as like detrimental to them. I'll delete all of it as soon as I don't have to talk to these niggers. So if like people like who are trying to impress Jasmine, like I think that's what it looks like. It's because you got a lot of money, like America, and like England, like the Middle East. It's like, no, it's not. Like, that's not why. Like, it's because of science. Like, it's because of, like, I can see it. It's because it's the truth. Like, I didn't choose science because, like, it was, like, pretty. Like, I didn't, like, choose, like, Egypt because, like, it was, like, better than the Bible. Like, it was, like, they won, like, a competition. Like, is it because, like, it's not because, like, I didn't choose, like, America and scientists because they were, like, because they were rich. Like, I didn't choose science because we're rich. I chose science because we're right. So, they turned the light on. Like, that's what it is. Like, Horus, Jesus, God, like, all of that stuff is just stuff that we made up over time. Like, it just is. And that's why I was like, I don't have time for this. Like, this is so fucking stupid. Like, it's I just like no. Like I'm just like this is too stupid for me. Like I just can't. Like and that's what it is. It's like you can blatantly see that the Bible is fake, and you can blatantly see that science and the star system are real. I mean, I don't know if maybe somebody like there are things that like people can show me like numbers and shit, and I'm like, okay, I can see that that's a thing, but I don't know how it works. I mean, that's how people feel about science. But like, you can literally see how like science and math work. You can literally see science and math and engineering and like architecture and solar systems. Like you can see it. Like so, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. What of anything in the Bible can you actually see? Nothing. Like what are you talking about? Like that's what I'm talking about. It's like it's not like I'm like being a bitch to England or anything, but it's like you spread this fucking dumb bullshit across the planet that like had a shit foundation, and then the world got destroyed by the oil company that you made because it was stupid. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, shut up. You're so dumb. Like, and that's what it is. It's like it's not a bad thing that you're stupid. You made a fake religion that was trash. Like, I'm not judging you for that. I'm just saying it's like the narcissism that you can't like acknowledge that it's fake and somebody prove that it was fake. Like that's what I'm talking about. It's like it's your narcissism. That's the only thing that I don't love about you. So you're fucking stupid. Like you can be stupid. Like you are. Like I don't care about people being intelligent. I love all people except religious people because it's fake and it's coming from a place of narcissism. It's disgusting. And I think that's what it is. It's like clothing. Like it's gonna be forever since the darn plane. So like me getting fucking abused because of these fucking stupid glasses. It's like that's why it pisses me off so much. Because like the Bible is something that somebody gave you at some point in time, and then like you found some special meaning in it that like you like learned later on in life wasn't true and wasn't real. Just like a lot of the clothes people gave you or the glasses people gave you, this necklace, the cross, any of the things people gave me, my name. I'm like, I would throw all of that shit away for lights, for science, because it's not actually real. Like that's what I'm talking about. It's just it's an accessory. It's an accessory. And once that accessory is not benefiting me, I'm burning it.